right, guys, we're going to try this again, see if it works. I have no idea what I've been doing that makes it flip like that. It did it yesterday too. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. For those of you celebrating Easter, happy Easter. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. Yes, you get to see something different this morning. There we are. I can see everybody. All right. Good morning, Jeannie. Good morning, Felicia. Good morning, Valerie. Oh my goodness, everybody's here. I had no idea that the camera was crooked, but it is totally crooked. I will try to fix that while everybody joins in. So you see that you have a different backdrop today. The backdrop today is my library that's in my studio. Day, whatever this is, 20, I believe, of quarantine. I finally lost my mind, and yesterday, I literally moved all the furniture out of one end of the house to the other end of the house to redo my living room, which means everything is where I normally teach. But today was going to be Pranayama, so we're working on our breath work. So we can do that sitting in front of the library. Good morning, Susan. So I'm going to try to make it where the camera's not sitting crooked, while you guys grab your coffee and get a comfortable place to sit. You're going to want to sit up, so either sit on a pillow, be able to sit cross-legged, or sit in a chair as you get ready. This won't be a very long practice. On Sundays, I try to do something, either meditation or yin or pranayama, so that we have a day that we can rest and not overwork the body and work on mental health, not just the physical health. So let me fix the camera while you guys sign in. I have no idea why it's crooked. I think that helped. I am unsure. Good morning, Jessie. Good morning, Petra. There, I think that is straighter. Okay, and relatively. It will have to be straight enough. So today we're going to work on some meditation, not really meditation. We did meditation last Sunday, but prana work. We talk about breathing, and all during the yoga practice I talked to you about breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Just that simple, easy breath. Except we don't pay attention to our breath often. And good morning. Oh, I love all those kisses. Thanks, Jeannie, for the heads up. Aw, thank you, Petra. So we're only going to go over 3 breaths today. And there are so many different pranayamas. Prana being energy, or a lot of times the energy rides in on the breath, and yama controller constraints. So we're going to work on 3 different breaths because I want you to be able to remember them. There's so many. I could try to give you all 10 or 15 today, but you won't be able to practice them by next week. So we're going to do 3. We're just going to observe our normal breath. And that's going to let you know a lot. Your easy, normal breath is going to let you know about your emotional health, your mental health, and your physical health. A lot of times if we're in a stressful situation or under stress, we'll hold our breath. Or if we're upset, we can pant. So that easy breath, our first breath, will tell us a whole lot. And that one is typically what we try to fall back on when we're in our yoga practice and we're still new to our yoga practice or we're struggling. The second one we're going to work on is Dirga Pranayama. And that's a 3-part breath. Some people call it a belly breath. And the last one that we'll work on for today's practice is Ujjayi breathing, or victorious breath, or breath of sound. People call it lots of different things depending on the region that you're in or the country that you're practicing. So thank everybody for joining in. Get comfortable. Find a chair, a cushion, sit cross-legged, but just don't recline. If you're going to sit on your couch and watch today, just try to sit up and not sit back on the back. And we're going to get started. A little bit of coffee here. All right. So what we're going to do is gently put those hands in our lap on our knees. Here's a fun fact, is if you're feeling really warm, if you turn your palms up, it'll help you be comfortable and cooler in your practice. If you are feeling cool or distracted, if you turn your palms down, the weight and the heat of the palm will help calm you down. So you choose your hand placement today. Tall spine. We're going to drop the chin at first because, like all practices, we want to dedicate or set an intention. Nice full breath here. And once you're done with that intention or dedication, we're going to lift the head and just sit straight. Right ear, right shoulder. And left ear, left shoulder. Just helping us find the spine, get a little bit of the wiggles out before we sit quietly for a while. We're going to bring that head back up. Nice tall spine. Lifting pelvic floor, pulling navel in, elongate through the crown of the head. Now just notice your breath. This is easy breath. Number 1 that we're going to work with. Just observe it. How is that breath feeling? Do you have a shallow inhale and a longer exhale? Now with this breath, we're just going to change it a little. We're going to see if we can count how many counts to inhale and exhale. So maybe you are inhaling 1, 2, but maybe you are exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try, instead of doing it automatically, do that intentionally. So set a small metronome in your mind. Maybe it's slower or faster than mine. I'll count out loud so you can see what's going on for me. So I'm going to be inhaling. Inhaling. 1, 2. I kind of pause here. And then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to do this on your own for 5 breaths. And then we'll join back in together. Well done, and we'll join back in. So the best way to play with the pranayama is just to work on that easy breath, the way we breathe every day, but we just breathe with intention. So we're going to take this same breath that we just did, and we're going to double those numbers. So we're going to take a 4 count in and an 8 count out. Let's try again. 5 breaths. Do your best. And then take a pause. Come back. Check in with your body. How did that make you feel? Did it make you feel lightheaded? Did you feel like your spine was straighter? All right, we're going to keep playing with that just a little. We're not going to get more than 4 and 8. But there will be a time when you can make that 8 and 16 or 16 and 16. The greater that inhale, the time that you spend on that inhale, the greater you can work the lungs. It's easier to exhale for a long period of time than it is to inhale for a period of time. And it takes some practice, and the muscles that work to expand and contract so that the lungs will work like billows takes a little practice. And I want you to do that, but we're going to add some subtleties to this practice. We're going to get a little pause at the top and a little pause at the bottom. And it's a hold. And we're not going to hold it for too long until we get a lot of practice in, because you'll feel like your heart rate go up. And I don't want you to feel that today. So let's try that 4-8 count of breath again. And this is just that easy breath. Make sure you're sitting up straight. Don't forget to smile. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's a pause. It's kind of like that top of an arc on a trampoline. And then exhaling back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause. That inhale like you're coming up out of a pool and you need that air. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause. Breathe normally. Now your ratio may not be an exact double. Maybe you take 4 inhales, but a 6 count exhale. Then do that today. I want you to play with the rhythm of your breath and to know what your breathing pattern is, so that when it's off, you know that you're off. Whether you're not feeling well, you might be getting sick, or you may be having stress. Your breath is a very good indicator. Let's try that on our own. If you need to change it to 4-6, okay. So that's going to be an inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Not a hold, a pause. We're going to do that for 4 breaths. And we're going to move on to a new pranayama. So we're going to inhale and pause. Exhaling. Pause. The rest on your own. Nice full breathing. Just take a couple. Smile. And on that last breath, come back to the center. And we're getting ready to work on another breath. And so maybe you have it. Good morning, Tess. Happy Easter to you as well. And Jesse's being a smart aleck and said, what about if you can't count? And that's legit. If you're practicing and you lose count, then you're going to breathe until you feel like your lungs won't hold anymore. Pause. And then you're going to exhale until your lungs feel empty and pause. Now, the only thing about that is that I want you to slow down. That's what the counting is for, more than anything else, is for you to slow down. Because we have a tendency to be like, but if you make you think about inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the speed. So whether you count or just are aware of your speed, that's all that really matters. At the bottom line, just breathe. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is the Durga breath, coffee. Now with Durga breathing, it's also called a 3-part breath. So that will be belly, rib cage or solar plexus, and chest. And many times we just chest breathe. So we just have all this inhale and exhale that happens here. With the Durga breathing or belly breathing 3-part breath, we feel it come all the way down in the belly. Now keep in mind, our lungs don't come all the way down to the belly, but the muscles that drive the diaphragm and help us open and close the chest so that the lungs can breathe starts down here. In America, especially the West, we're very hyper aware of what we look like. So a lot of times people walk around holding their bellies in so they don't look overweight or fat. And that eventually affects how you breathe. Because when you inhale, your belly's supposed to come out. Round it out. You don't have to over-exaggerate, but the belly does move. And then when you exhale, there's a contraction. You're pulling this navel in. That's one of those major keys in the Ashtanga practice, is to use your bandhas to breathe. Mula bandha, lifting up in the pelvic floor. And Uddiyana bandha, which is right behind the navel, exhale, pulling in towards the spine. That's legit. It helps you work through that breath. It's kind of hard to feel in the beginning. So we're going to break down each part and then put them together. So we're just going to put our hand on our belly. And we're going to try to inhale. We feel that belly come in. If you have to close your eyes to feel it, do that. So inhale, kind of push against your hand with your belly. And when you exhale, try to contract the belly in towards the spine. Try not to roll the pelvis. This is all done with the belly. Inhale, let that belly come out. Exhale, contract, pull the belly in. Inhale, push that belly out. Exhale, pull the belly in. One more time. Inhale, push that belly out. Exhale, pull the belly in. And then release your hand. Open those eyes. Check back in with me. Check in with your body. Do you notice changes? Maybe that felt awkward because you're not used to the belly coming in and out, or you're not aware of it coming in and out. Now, part 2 of that 3 breath is in the rib cage and in the solar plexus. And the ribs actually hinge at the back, at the spine. And they kind of go like this, right? So where the ribs attach here at the spine, when you breathe, there's this little bit of a hinging out like this. And so we're going to put our hands here on the side of the body, and we're going to see if we can feel that. Don't worry about the belly right now. I just want you to notice the rib cage. So you have your hands on the side of the body. And see if when you breathe, you can feel the ribs coming out. So we're going to inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And let those arms come down and rest. So just close your eyes for a second and see if you notice, maybe you can still feel where your hands are on your rib cage. Even in your normal, easy breath, you notice that the ribs move now because you just brought your awareness to it. All right, last part. That third part is here in the chest. Now we're pretty comfortable with this portion because this is typically where we breathe all the time. But I want you to put your hand way up by the throat, right where the collarbones meet at the hollow of the throat. Because if you put your hand here, you can get a good sense of what's happening in the chest. So I want you to inhale fully and inhale until you feel your hand lift. So inhale. And exhale. And it's way up this high is where the tops of the lungs are. Not in the center, but this height on either side. Here and here. So we're going to feel that lift again. And gently exhale. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Leah. So we're going to practice just that last time. Inhale until you feel the hand lift all the way at the chest. And down. And release. Return back to your normal breath or the easy breath that we did, the first pranayama. And if you're just joining in, wonderful. Find some place to sit comfortably and let's breathe together. All right. Now we're going to put all three pieces together. And it's going to take a little bit, that coordination, because you're not used to breathing like this every day. So I'm going to call this out to you. So maybe close the eyes and just listen to me. We're going to try to inhale, fill the belly. Inhale, wing out those ribs. Still inhaling, lifting chest all the way to the hollow of the throat. Exhale, push out the air, pushing in through that belly, pushing in through the rib cage, pushing in through the chest. Let's try again. Fill the belly, fill the ribs, fill the chest. Exhale the belly, exhale the ribs, exhale the chest. See if you can practice that. Inhale the belly. Feel the rib cage wing out. Lift the chest. Exhale the belly. Exhale the ribs. Exhale the chest. Inhale belly. Ribs. Chest and throat. Exhale belly. Exhale ribs. Exhale throat. Practice on your own. 4 breaths and we'll check back in together. Play with it. Nice full breathing. Gently check back in. So notice that the way we're practicing today, that it's belly, ribs, chest on the inhale, and also for the exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Now sometimes if we flip that and we go chest, ribs, belly, we start to lose our posture and do this. But if you think belly, ribs, chest, belly, ribs, chest, you'll stay more erect and straight for your pranayama, which is very important. So you have full access to the spine and to the lungs. Now the last breath that we're going to work on today, and again we'll work on some more next week, but we can only practice a couple at a time. We're going to work on Ujjayi breathing, breathing with sound, victorious breath. And that's the one that you're going to hear most often, and especially when you go to a yoga practice or a studio and you'll hear somebody breathing really loudly. Chances are it's just that. So in our throat, we have this thing called a glottis, right? And we're going to contract it. And when you contract it, you can make a sound. The most often that we hear that sound is like if you're fogging up a mirror. So I'm going to use my hand as if it was a mirror, and it would be this sound here. Now, for me to make that sound, I'm just doing this little bit of a contraction in my throat. Why don't you try? So you're going to take a big inhale, do this little contraction, and kind of go. That's all that is. And what that's doing is it's helping you focus how quickly you'll exhale. So remember our first breath, our easy breath, where we had that 4 inhale, 8 exhale. And I was talking about the speed and trying to take your time so you don't run out of air before you ran out of count. By having this contraction here, it makes you have to focus and slow down because you just can't exhale out, right? Because it's contracted. But we want you to have that same amount of slow speed on the way in. So you want to contract and practice breathing in. That's a little harder. So we want to still have that contraction in the glottis and see if we can make a sound breathing in. So try. Exhaling is probably going to be a little louder. Try again. Exhaling. Good. It's a little funny in the beginning. I like to think of like a scuba diver. If you've ever been scuba diving and when you're under the water, when you breathe, that's all you can hear. It's almost deafening. That sound, that extra element that's been added to your breath, is giving the mind a focal point. Hearing a smoothness of that inhale and that smoothness of the exhale. It gives the mind that place to zero in, very much like when you're using a singing bowl or chanting an om, and that vibration of sound allows you to really hyper focus. That's a wonderful thing about this particular breath. And you can do all those same elements that we did on easy breath, where you can inhale with a count, you can pause at the top and at the bottom. This is my favorite breath to play with. So let's just try that 2 inhale, 4 exhale, like we did in the easy count and the easy breath. But we're going to add this constriction here. Don't worry about what's going on in your belly. It's way too much. Just focus on inhaling and exhaling right now. So close those eyes, sit up straight, and see if you can contract and inhale for 2. Pause. Exhale for 4 maybe. Pause. See if you can inhale for 2. Pause. Exhale for 4. Pause. Breathe normally. So with this next exercise, because each time it gets a little more and more complicated, a little more intricate so that the mind stays involved with the body while you breath, which is keeping you focused for sure. I want you this time with your Ujjayi breathing to forget the count. Just make the sound. But I want you to slowly inhale until you can't bring any more in your body, almost to the point that it hurts. Pause. Exhale slowly until every bit of air is gone. Pause. See if you can do it with that method for 4 breaths, and then we'll check back in together. Try again. Tall spine. Here we go. Nice breathing, everyone. Happy Easter for everyone in the comments there. So we have those 3 techniques now. We have our easy breath. That's the breath that we're doing all the time, whether we pay attention to it or not. What changes it to pranayama is now you're giving it your mental attention. You're going to practice lengthening it or shortening it. You're going to add a pause at the top or the bottom of the breath. The second breath, that Durga breath, was the 3-part breath. That's the belly out, the chest rib cage opens, the chest lifts, then the belly comes in, the ribs close, the chest compresses. And then you'll practice that. With the Ujjayi breathing, we're making sound, giving the mind something to focus on. And you can do those same kind of constraints. You can practice doing it till they're full or till you're empty, the lungs. You can do it with a count. You can have a pause at the top or the bottom. Breath is so important for helping us to collect our thoughts or to get rid of our thoughts, to regulate heart rate, your blood pressure, to help calm if you're nervous. Especially now we have all these Zoom calls and you're talking to a phone, and sometimes that can be even more intimidating than talking to a person. And we're sitting at our desks and we're overwhelmed by the crisis outside of your house, the crisis inside your house, the crisis inside your brain. And if we just take the time to breathe, that's all it really is this marker of time of you just doing something simple. Such a big deal. Now, as we practice and we start adding in those breaths, we want to be able to count and not lose track. And so here's a good system. That's why we say 5 breaths. We have 5 fingers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can practice sets of 4 so that you can just put your pads to the thumb, and then you can move to the next digit and you can count them out this way. And so there's all different kinds of ways that you can practice. And that's a lot of reasons too why you'll see people with their palms turn up, is so that they can tick off those breaths with the thumb and the finger. If you have a mala, which I broke mine during the crisis here, or I say crisis, we all live in crisis from the day we're born until we die. So this pandemic or whatever, it's no more than the stressful things you would have daily. But in the process of cleaning yesterday, I broke my mala, so I don't have it. But a mala is just a set of beads, and you can count off the beads. Mine is 108. And so I will practice 108 breaths. And you think that that would be easy. It is not. Your brain starts to go, did I turn off the washer? Did I turn off the iron? Oh, wait, I'm hungry. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom. The mind will find so many things to get up and leave because it has such a hard time being quiet. If you're going to practice meditation, getting that mind to respond and be quiet is so important. And if you learn to breathe and the mind understands, oh, we're breathing, it's time to be quiet, then meditation gets easier and easier. So these are the 3 breaths we've learned today. Easy breath, Durga Pranayama, a 3-part breath, and Ujjayi breathing, victorious breath or breath with sound. And each week I'm going to add some more to it, give you more ways to practice. I really make sure to take the time on Sunday that you do something restorative. Last week we did meditation. The week before that we did yin. Really put that energy and love back in your body that you're giving everyone else. I want you to have an amazing Sunday. If you're celebrating Easter, happy Easter. If not, happy Sunday. From my house to yours, I love you so much. Let's close together with an Om. Finding your center. Reminding yourself of the things you're thankful for. Sending out love and compassion. Inhale for your Om. Bowing forward in respect, namaste. Peace be with you. Go safely. Thank you for joining me.